Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about our group matrix. We're going to be going through the quadrants starting at the bottom right, then the bottom left, and then top right. So we're going to start with the prompt. What is important to all of you on the team about being a high performing team? And this is talking about our values. So something that's really important to me as a value is teamwork, since this is a group project. Allowing everyone to contribute. And then raise your hand when you would like to go next. Okay, Crystal, go ahead.
All right, so I also feel communication is a good one to have while working in a team.
Go ahead.
Something that I value as being a part of a team is encouragement. I think that's super important in maintaining a positive environment overall.
Danielle, go ahead.
I was going to say like a strong work ethic as well, so we can successfully accomplish the tasks and assignments.
Great. And then Allie, go ahead. You can talk or just write your response. Effective listening, that's a great one as well. So now we're going to talk about when you think about being a high performing team, what thoughts or feelings show up or get in the way. And these are thoughts that can be a bit intrusive or things that don't feel good, and we need to work on being better about it. So I feel that teamwork is sometimes difficult for me because I have trouble delegating. And it makes me scared that the work won't get done if I'm not doing it. Go ahead.
One thing I would add is misunderstanding. I feel like when you work in a big group, things can kind of go all sorts of ways. So that goes along with that communication value.
Go ahead, Crystal.
I would say for me, sometimes procrastination can get in the way. Like, although I still meet deadlines or I would meet the deadlines for my team, like the time to do the work within it, sometimes I can slack on or whatever. Sometimes I can have a problem with that when it comes to working in a team.
I have that trouble as well. So that's definitely something good to bring up.
Then I said that thinking the assignment was too hard or that I didn't want to do it.
For my thinking, I'd like to say I think that if I delegate, it won't get done. Go ahead, Danielle.
I was going to say that I think stress also contributes to this quadrant for me as well.
Go ahead.
Another thought or feeling that I would say kind of gets in the way is stupidity. Like maybe my idea isn't good or people won't think it's a good idea.
I feel that way too sometimes. Okay, so for our next quadrant, we're going to talk about what do you do to move away from or under the control of that bottom left stuff. So this is actions that are a bit intrusive that you do instead of actually positively responding to the issue or your deep feelings about it. For me personally, since I struggle with teamwork, this often looks like me not letting other people do their part and then getting short-tempered or annoyed that I have to do all the work, even though I'm the person who didn't delegate. And that's for previous group projects. So it's just a fear and a blockage I have now. And go ahead and raise your hand if you'd like to go next. Okay, go ahead.
I think one thing that I do that kind of gets in the way is I agree to keep the peace even when I don't agree with what's going on. And I kind of keep quiet when, I should speak up.
Okay, who would like to go next? Danielle, do you want to go next? I think, or Crystal, you were frozen at least for me. Okay, go ahead, Crystal.
I would say that sometimes I would probably like take on too many tasks that like would lead to stress and anxiety that makes me procrastinate. So
I do that as well. Go ahead, Danielle.
I was going to say, kind of like along with what Crystal said, like I would say that I definitely procrastinate. I'm doing my part if I feel like stressed or overwhelmed about what I need to do.
And then Allie, we'll wait until you put in what you're thinking before we move on. I know you're typing, so we really appreciate that. So for the last box, we're going to talk about what we could do as a team to be seen doing more to move towards who or what is actually important. So again, I was bringing up teamwork and how it's difficult for me to delegate. I think something that would help is allowing people to actually speak up about the tasks they'd like to do. This is the first group for me that everyone has seemed like they actually want to contribute. And for 11 people, that was a little bit overwhelming, but it was also a nice surprise. So I think trusting that my team members will contribute to these tasks, even though that's a little hard and scary for me, is something I could do to move forward. Crystal, go ahead.
I would say something I can do to move forward is like along the lines of communication. Like if I am falling behind or if there is something that I'm struggling with, that I can communicate that with my team members, so it's just like not a surprise or there's not like a ghosty period of like when is she going to do this or when is she doing this. So like communicating when I'm struggling.
Go ahead, Danielle.
I was going to say, along with the communication aspect, also collaboration. One thing that I enjoy doing is like helping other people with their tasks or offering them different ideas that could contribute to their assignment as well.
Going along with my important value of encouragement, I think just promoting a positive environment overall. So one way I try to do this and think it would be good for everybody to do is just by giving positive affirmations within the group. So even if it's as small as replying to a message and being like, that's a great idea. I think once people see that, it kind of is like a chain reaction and everybody is positive in that regard.
Agree with that. I always do better when I feel like people appreciate what I'm doing. And I also want to say, I feel like all of us are really trying with these things. Like Crystal, I know you've been communicating really well about turning in the assignments, which has made me feel better that I don't have to worry about taking on the big task because it's being spread out. So I feel like everyone is actually moving towards a stronger team, which is really important here. Does anyone have any last minute things to add for any of the quadrants? Or do we feel good about this?